So hey guys, I hope you guys are doing well. Today I have taken one of the most important question from SQL interview part. This question was been asked in Amazon. The question is on a bit of concept and logical thinking. I will say this question is a best source for product management kind of stuff. Okay, so I just take this out. Actually, I was solving this question now. So I just thought of sharing this with you all so that you can also have a grasp on this. So this is a kind of case study kind of question, and yeah, it is considered as a hard difficulty level is actually hard for this question. So to understand this question and to solve this question, like we can take around 15 to 20 minutes. Nicely we can sit and we can have a discussion on this whole thing, and then we should proceed ahead with the discussion part, right? So I just take, okay, so don't just ignore this thing because I was solving this part, so this I can't just run the code now. Okay, so what does this question say is Amazon wants to maximize the storage capacity of its 500,000 square feet warehouse by prioritizing a specific batch of prime items. So firstly, let me show you the table, right? In the inventory table, we have item ID, item type, item category, and square feet. So item type is segmented into two parts, item like prime item and non-prime item. So prime is known as prime eligible, non-prime is known as not prime. And rest other item category inside the prime versus inside the not prime with their respective square footages. So the after reading the whole question, once when you read, so what will you get is the company in this para they are saying the company want to expand, or let's say it want to build a new 500,000 square feet warehouse for its inventory products, for its inventory means. So the company is first prioritizing on the prime batches, right? Like from here you can see this part. So this means what it is giving the maximum priority to its prime batches. Then the remaining space would be covered under the non-prime batches. So if I show you mathematically, then you can see here the total space, target space is around 500,000. So the company say how many prime batches and non-prime batches can be accommodated. So if I show you this, so let's say we have around 500,000 as a target capacity. Okay. Now our primary output should be, let's say this is prime and this is no prime. Okay. So I want, you can see from here also the output table. So prime item and the item count, non-prime item and the item count. So basically I want the number of prime here and number of non-prime here. Okay. This is the target of the question, means the output of the question. So as you can see, we have around 500,000 as the target capacity. So I just write target capacity as TC. Now, if you think logically, then how do we identify? Let me also write this so that you will always have the note for this. How do you identify how many prime can accommodate, right? So ignore the spelling issues, guys. Okay. So how do you identify this? For this, what you can do is, if you think logically means, we have square foot for each prime products. This condition is true, right? Now, what I can do is, if I will, let me also write this. If I will add all the square foot, I mean square feet of each product, then let's say I get a value X. Okay. Now, what if I do X into count of each, like let's say count of total products. Then I get a value Y. Now, what can I symbolize from Y? So basically I am saying I will first add all the square feet of each product. Like let's say we are considering the prime product first, like category is prime. So I have added all the square feet. Okay. Then after adding I get a value X. Now if I multiply X with the number of prime product present, I get a value Y. So in general, Y will be my number of prime products, right? So how do I identify how many products can we accommodate over here? So basically 500,000 divided by total square foot first. So this will give me the area where prime can stored, right? Now if I just do this into Y, then I get number of prime that can be stored. So basically my first part will give me area of how much it can store. Second part will give me counts of how many prime can store. Now when I come to the non-prime part, then what can I do? Already I have the square feet, right? So and also I have the number of counts for the prime product. So what can I do is I can take, see, like let's imagine this way. Okay, so let's imagine this way. Let's say this is the green thing is the total area which is 500,000. Okay, now I am saying that the whole thing like this part, let me just color it away. Now I am saying that this part is given for the prime, right? This part is given for the prime. Now if you see the whole green area is 500,000 and prime is 300,000, then what will be my not prime? So it is quite simple, like 500,000 minus not our 300,000, right? 300,000, right? So it is around 200,000, which is this part, right? 1 and 2 thousand, 100,000, 100,000, right? So just imagine this way. The similar thing I will be using over here also. So I know my storage capacity is 500,000. Okay. Now I also know that my prime capacity is this part. Okay. So if I do, I say this prime capacity. Okay. If I do 500,000 minus 500,000 divided by total square foot, then what I am getting? I am getting a value which is the area of non-prime, because I am doing basically what I am doing. I am just doing 500,000 minus area of prime products, right? So the remaining area will be of the non-prime, means the orange part is 500,000 by total square feet, and the green part will give me the non-prime thing. Now, if I want to get the value, like how many products can we accommodate? So similar expression we can also use. So basically now hold this part into our count of non-prime. So this will give me how many non-prime can be accommodated in this area. I hope this is clear in a mathematical term, I tried to explain this one before moving to the coding part. So now let's move to the coding part quickly. So let's do it in few different steps. Okay, so we will create window and we will do it one by one. So let's select first. Okay, select item type. Then what I will do is I will sum the square footages as I'll just give it as total square feet. Then I can see how many items are there in the product in the whole categories. So as item count, I'm giving the LISM as item count. From table name is inventory, group by item type. Now just run the code. See here, you can see we got total square feet 555.20, 120.50. For different categories, we have that thing. Now, what I want, I will do for the prime thing first. So, because we have to identify how much prime can be accommodating over here. So, our this window will be specifically for the prime. So, let's do the same thing. Item type, total square feet, right? So, I have told you how do we calculate the prime batches. So prime batches area, I want to identify the area of prime batches. So it will be 500,000 divided by total square feet. So 500,000 divided by our total square feet as area prime batch. Now if I just do this part into our item count, what will I get? Number of prime batch. Table is from CTE now because I am going to use a window over here with CTE as. Let's run and see. Okay, where is the issue? Error at line number 11. Okay, this one. See, okay, I just round up this one using a floor function so that it will be rounded to the nearest integer. Floor. See now, so what do we have? Different thing because I want this part specifically for the prime, so I give a where condition as well, where item type equals to prime eligible. Okay, so this part is clear now. So we have a prime area of 900, number of prime batches which can accommodate over here is 5400, right? Now we will move for the next part, that is our non-prime part. So again same, select item type total square feet, right? And now what can I do is I can use a case and when statement because I need now for both the parts, right? So when case means case when item type equals to prime eligible, then I need the count for the prime, so I take this expression now, number of prime counts. Okay, same when item type equals to not prime, then okay, so now what we will do is, because we need to get the value for non-prime from this expression, that is from CTE, so what we will do is like 500,000 minus bracket select this value. So okay, because we are doing for the not prime, so what I have already told you this part, right? So what we will do according to the mathematical expression is we will subtract the area and the square number of products with 500,000 directly. So this part, okay, from CTE2, because my that window is CTE2, right? And so let me just do this part also. CTE. Nice, great, right? Okay, so select floor 500,000 total square feet from CTE2. This part will give me the area, and if I divide this by total square foot, this will give me the area for the not prime, and if I multiply it with item count, so this will probably give me the number of items present. And let's do this thing also, because we need a roundup value, so I have given this bracket and floor function. Great. Now we will end as item count. Okay, sorry, item count, and my item count was present in the previous table, which was CTE. So I just do from CTE. I'll do order by thing if it is asked. Okay, so there is a issue here. Uh, I think this issue is because of 500,000, correct? 500,000, correct? Into item count. Mhm. Floor, select floor. 500,000 into, okay. Uh, if I multiply this here itself, then what will happen? Let's see. Because if I multiply here, this part is getting cancelled. Okay, 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 okay. I think there is some calculation issue here, which we will be resolving it now, right now only, and I will do it because is it anything? Okay, see here, along with the maximum number of batches that can be stored. So order by our item type DESC. Nice. Uh, and what's the output? Right. This part is done, and I need to just rectify this. Probably this is how the calculation will work, guys. Okay. I have to just rectify this part. Why am I getting the issue here? Uh, let's just let me just reopen my solving part. I think I did some. So have I mentioned this equals to not prime 500,000? Select 500,000 by total square feet into item. Okay, okay, so by total square feet into total square feet, probably this will be the square feet square itself, right? So there. total square feet from city to, let me just take my own solution from here and paste it this way. So you all can see the difference. So 500,000, select 500,000, select 500,000 by total square feet, by total square feet into item count. This part is clear. And just run this thing, identify where am I getting the issue. I don't know. Let's again just see. Okay, see, you can see the main issue was because of the parenthesis part, which is now resolved. Okay, so again, if I explain you, the calculation for the non-prime will be this way. Like we are subtracting 500,000 from select floor, means this part. If you see, if you carefully see this part, then what is this? This is the number where we have the total square feet of both the things, A and B. A means prime, B means not prime. And then we are multiplying into the total square feet, the whole result, the division into total square feet. So basically, if I just show you mathematically, then 500,000 divided by total square feet will give me, let's say, m as a result. Now already I know what is the, let's say we have n, and n is our total square feet of non-prime. So m into n will give me the area of non-prime, right? So this is what we have done in the inner bracket. Now when I subtract this thing, right, from 500,000, so from 500,000, when I subtract m into n, let's say we get one answer, right? So now this answer, when we divide it by total square feet, then we get the overall area of non-prime. This part is clear. And now let's say this, let's give an alias name as FA, means final answer. So this final answer, when I multiply with item count, then I will get number of non-prime. So this is the final calculation for non-prime, which is completely matching with our own solution. Just the small part is, we actually in the select only they will divide with, they will multiply into the total square feet to get the area of how much is the non-prime thing. So how do I say this is for the non-prime? Because the same thing I have written for the prime as well, because here I am already segmenting with the when statement, and I'm saying like, not when the case is not prime, then you go for this part. So let's just submit this, and it shows an error by 540. Okay, total square foot, item count, item type does not match the output. Okay, because we don't want the total square foot over here, so let's just take this out and then submit this. Right, it's working now. So this is how we can just use a spreadsheet, understand the whole question, and then we can just solve the part. One more thing I need to add over here is this question was primarily for all the prime eligible thing and non-prime thing. But like there is an example given here. Like after prioritizing the maximum number of prime batches, any remaining square feet will be utilized by the non-prime batches, which also come in the batch set. So when you see this batch set thing, so we can always keep in mind that I'll just come back to this previous para for making it clear. What does the batch set is saying is when the item category column has one laptop and one side table, then it is known as a batch base batch. So this is a set actually. Like when two products are combined, then it will become a set. Also, they have clearly mentioned that we could not add another laptop without adding a side table. So the table also cannot come alone if there is no laptop, and a laptop also cannot come alone when there is no table. So this is what we have to keep in the mind. And sometimes they may also frame the question in a way like, let's say this is the thing, like another prime eligible, they want a batch of mini refrigerator and television. So let's say these two are the batches and we need to identify for these two only. So how will I modify the question? I will not do the sum of square foot for everything. Rather, I will do the sum of this, means I am saying this way. So what will I do is select uh, item type, okay, and sum of square foot, okay. Then from inventory where item category in this part, which is mini refrigerator and television. So I just take this thing out and run the code for you. From, okay, extra comma was there. Available relation inventory must appear in group by. Okay, so group by item type, right? So, and if I show you this also, and just put this in the group by as well. See, so basically, this is the primary table which we have. So, mini refrigerator is having a square feet of 68. Television is having a square feet of 85, right? Now I want to, my question is saying that I need to get the prime for same 500,000 where prime is a batch slash set of I'm just writing fridge plus television, right? So now if I just remove this item category over from here, then fine. So I don't know, should maybe now it should work, right? Yeah. So this is what we are getting. So the addition of fridge and television is around 153 square feet. Now the same process I will do, guys. I will do 500,000 minus 1, sorry, divided by 153, right? And I will get prime area square feet. Okay. Now if they ask me how many prime can accommodate, let's think. So what will I do is now I will do 500,000 divided by 153, and here I will put a count. Count of all means it will count the number of fridge and television. So count as count of fridge and TV. So I just do this into this part. So I get the final number like how many this TV and fridge can be accommodated over here. Now if I further expand this question, now let's go to the non-prime part. Then similarly, if I have this thing now, so I'll just do 500,000 minus our prime area square feet, and this answer again I will divide by total square feet, and I will multiply with item count. So what will happen is after dividing it by prime area square feet, I will get the non-prime area square feet, the value. When I divide it by total square feet, then I will convert the present value into the terms of square feet. And when I multiply with the item count, I will get a number as a value kind of thing, like 457, something like that. So this is how you can just solve the thing. I hope you have understood some things, and if you also want to practice this question, okay, I just recorrect this. Yeah. If you want to practice this question, you can follow this part data lumer, and you get this question over there also. You can try. Also, there is another solution for this using a window function. So you may try using the window as well. So that's all for today. Have a great day. I hope you have enjoyed this. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if also if you have any doubts in this part or calculation part, like how we have done this, then you can ping me in the comment section as well. Thank you so much.